Bits&Chips is organizing the Benelux Heterogeneous Integration Conference on the 22nd of May at Mikrocentrum in Veldhoven. Now, why would it be interesting to attend? That's what I asked Beyne.
Heterogeneous integration is kind of the opposite of monolithic integration, where you do everything in one piece of silicon, one common technology. More and more single chip solutions are not as efficient to integrate full electronic systems. Previously, in the past, we talked about heterogeneous integration when it's considering indium phosphide or gallium arsenide and silicon, but today it's also memory-centric technology, logic-centric, sensor-centric, so different technologies that you bring together to make a more efficient integrated system rather than a single chip.
Why is it an important topic precisely at this moment?
Of course, the main driver today of the big hype around this topic is related to AI systems, and mainly the mainframe systems where you need extreme amounts of compute power together, more than a single advanced CMOS reticle can give you, and they need a lot of memory to be addressed very close to it. So it's not possible to do that on a single chip. You have multi-chip solutions by definition. And that's a big driver of this technology. Also because associated to that you have the photonics and the co-packaged optics. You have also real heterogeneous materials that need to be integrated, so you get more of this assembly problem. But it should be in a way that the system performance, system design is more similar to what we used to call system-on-chip design methodology, but then not on a single piece of silicon, but on multiple pieces of silicon working together as if it would be one piece.
As you mentioned, AI is the big driver. Well, the production of the most advanced AI chips happen to be in Asia. The systems are developed in the United States. So what does Europe?
Well, there is a lot of things associated to this AI server business in general. So it is not just limited to the well-known companies that dominate the market, but there's a lot of supplier companies to these companies as well. There are the equipments that are needed to make those type of chips or interconnects, and so companies in the manufacturing chain of equipment are very much present in Europe and the Benelux. EDA questions, you have thermal problems, cooling solutions that are needed. So there is a huge industry associated to it. And the photonics business, co-packaged optics, is also much more diverse in nature. So there are a lot of opportunities, and as said, it is today the dominant driver for the microelectronic field, which means that all the new technologies that are being developed are developed in the first instance for that application space. Typically what happens, and that happened in the past that way, is that those technologies then become more democratic and are getting used in other domains as well. Because for other, like automotive domain, making specific technology only for automotive probably is not sufficient as a driver for a big technology roadmap. And so there is a bit of a dependency for other application spaces on that technology. Of course, you need to be able to do this at a better price point because it's more customer oriented than the servers, where the cost is less of a concern compared to like mobile applications.
In short, what would you describe as a strategic advantage of Europe, or where do we have a chance to play a role in this new technology?
So what we've seen in the past with the centralized computer, the big central computers, the IBMs in the past, is that there has been a kind of shift to the personal computer. When I started working, actually, that was the first time there was a PC, and it didn't exist. Later on, the cell phone, the mobile phone, that gave rise to big cycles of even bigger possibilities in technology. I'm convinced this is going to happen again with this AI wave, that it's now very much into the centralized unit, but it's coming closer and closer to the customer. When you bring it closer to the customer, that you have more players and you have a broader scope for application. Could be in all kind of fields like mechatronics, robotics, sensors. I think it was in around 2000 there was a big thing in the Eindhoven area on ambient intelligence. Maybe that was early. Now it's the artificial intelligence in the ambient, the AI rather than the AI.
And you're also going to see components or systems there which contain or need heterogeneous integration.
Yes, because they will contain or require more advanced computing, because they will perform operations like inference or adaptive learning in the field, which means that they will have to store more memory and do more compute locally, but at low energy levels.
Now, Erik, I look forward to seeing you present at the Benelux Heterogeneous Integration Conference.
It will be my pleasure to be there and present, and I hope we have a good audience as well. Thank you.
Please visit the Bits&Chips site for more information on the conference. You can also register there.